Hey folks, how's it going? So before I start this video, please do consider subscribing if you've been watching our videos for a while, enjoy our content, and you would like us to keep on going. It really does help us out and encourage when you like the video, share, subscribe, click the bell button, and do all those things. Okay, so without further ado, today we have the Elac Carina, Andrew Jones design, and the Elac Vela from Germany. Now, I already did a video on the Elac Vela. In fact, I gave our first award ever to the speaker. Now, talking about the Elac Carina. The Elac Carina is, admittedly, this was a hard review. And let me explain why. So both speakers employed the jet tweeter design, and at a glance, it looks like both speakers are pretty darn similar. But let me tell you that there are more differences than similarities when you have them side by side. So let me go over the differences and explain to you the sound differences that these differences bring, if that makes any sense. So first of all, both, like I said, employ the jet tweeter, so that's a similarity. However, the cabinet is entirely different. I believe the Carina is a little bit bigger, but the cabinet, the shape, and the texture, the resonance when I tap onto both speakers are entirely different. And then we have the bass driver here, and the bass driver on the Elac Carina is obviously a different type than the one on the Elac Vela. You can see it definitely, those two are very, very different. And although the jet tweeters are similar, we have the waveguide being entirely different. So here we have the Elac Vela with a texture kind of design, where here we have a very smooth design with the Elac Carina. So looking at both of these speakers, another thing that I noticed very, very apparent is that this speaker over here has as you can see, a hole at the bottom with an opening. And the Elac Vela doesn't. Okay? And if you see my Elac Vela review, you all know that this is a ported design. It is not a sealed design. There's a port at the bottom here, and it goes down similar to this. There's a hole at the bottom, just that there's no hole, at the bottom of the base, whereas this actually does. So this difference may not seem like a lot, but when I first got the Elac Carina, I was quite disappointed because when I hooked them up into my stereo space and I started playing, I had these little pucks on here. And people have been asking me, oh, what are those little pucks that you have here? This puck that I have here is a sorbethane. It is a vibration dampening absorbing material. It is highly effective used in turntables and speaker stands and a lot of the components to reduce vibration. So I'll link to sorbethane. They can be had for pretty cheap to treat your vibrations. So make sure to check the link down below. I'll link him in the descriptions. But going back to the Elac Carinas, this actually caused a huge problem with the bass region on the speaker. As soon as I realized that I had these speakers on a little bit of a height here between the stand and the bass, because this is a bottom ported design with a bass with a hole in the bass area. As soon as that gap opened between the speaker stand and the speaker, now I was losing a lot of bass. The bass response was not as strong. So what I found out was that in this space, there was almost very little bass, especially in the low region, and there was this lack of dynamics. So I was mind blown. I was like, oh God, there's no bass. That doesn't sound right at all. And so I immediately thought either the speaker's broken or I was doing something wrong. And immediately I checked to see the speaker design and found that it was bottom ported. There was a bass that was being left open. So I removed the sorbethane and put them right onto the bass. And now the bass was incredible. So that's a fair warning with this speaker. You do not want to put anything on top to kind of increase the height with these speakers. You want them on a flat surface, okay? And also when I had them on my desk, because I tried these on near field as well, I prefer them with no foam, No, nothing. I just prefer them right on my desk. Nothing on the bottom, nothing to absorb, nothing like that. Just on the desk as it should. So this design is basically because there's an opening at the bottom of this speaker, unlike the Vela, which is a completely sealed on the base area. So that's out of the way. So how does it all sound when it's set up correctly? Well, when it's set up correctly, the imaging and the airiness of a jet tweeter is still pertained within the speaker. But what kind of made me think was that this speaker, despite being a jet tweeter design, reminds me a lot of Andrew Jones' signature sound. And rightfully so, he's the one who engineered this speaker. So when I was listening to this speaker, I was sitting down and the first impression was, even if nobody told me that this was Andrew Jones' design, I can 100% guarantee that this was Andrew Jones' design. I could have guessed blindly. The sound was very reminiscent of his coaxial driver designs. The overall signature with a little bit of that mid-range magic going on, and a little bit of that extra kind of force in the bottom end. And the top end, although it was a jet tweeter, was a little bit trimmed down so that your ears will not be fatigued. So while I love the airiness of the Elac Vela, if you are someone who likes a little bit more romantic sound rather than an exciting sound, the Elac Carina is an excellent choice. But you may be asking, well, why don't I just get a coaxial design that Andrew Jones made instead of getting a ribbon design that kind of sounds like a coaxial driver he made? Well, this is the reason why. Even though this sounds like a coaxial design that he made, the overall sound signature is very, very similar. It has that little bit of sparkle on the top end because it's a jet tweeter design. And I think that Andrew Jones, despite that this is his first time using a jet tweeter in a speaker, has really nailed it. And I'm really looking forward to him using more of this type of tweeter in his designs because it just sounds very, very nice. It has that romantic sound that he really, really goes for in his speakers while retaining that kind of like a little bit of sparkle on the high frequency that I love about Elac Germany design speakers. So despite the price difference, one being much more expensive than the other, I believe that this is really taste rather than which one performs better. I really like the romantic sound of Andrew Jones' designs. It was really, really nice, but I also like the quickness, the attack, the quick decay, and the open high frequency and airiness of the Germany design. So it is really up to your preference. Now, mind you, if you're someone who really, really likes vocals, this Elac Vela is a little bit more forward in vocal presentation. So take it for what you will. That may not be to your liking, but it is not sharp on both of these speakers. They're not sharp speakers. They're both very, very smooth speakers. And at least to my ears, I think Elac has really done it this time with retrieving detail without providing any type of fatigue in the high frequencies. So to sum up this review / comparison, I would say the Elac Vela is a champion when it comes to quick bass, natural mid-range with a little bit more forwardness and intimacy, and high frequency extension, a lot of air. While the Elac Carina is a champion when it comes to a little bit more warmth in the bottom end, a little more warmth in the mid-range, a little bit more neutrality within the high frequencies, and allows you to listen for a long period of time without being fatigued. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.